Welcome back, watchers. If you watched my last video, you saw where I had ran a bush hog at a new farm I just started renting, and some of those waterways are let's just say unnecessary. A landowner wants to take them out, so I bush hogged them because tried to run a disc over it, and that wasn't a great tool to use on old ground like that. So today we're going to hook up this chisel plow here right behind me, and we're gonna go try to rip it up and see how that does. But first, let's thank today's sponsor. With Town Job, I can secure much needed capital to invest into the farm, to purchase equipment, inputs, and even entire farms. Town Job costs nothing out of pocket, but it does have some unfortunate side effects, such as time away from farming, boredom, and as you can see, hair loss. Use Town Job only if you weren't born a farmer or are joining an existing operation. Do not stop the use of Town Job without consulting your spouse, as it could be life-threatening. Thanks for Town Job for sponsoring this episode. It's an old Glencoe soil saver. It's old, it's rusty. I pulled it out of an old fence line from a long retired farmer, and it's worn out in places. Like the shanks could probably use some bushings, but I don't use it very often, and I generally don't like to do a whole lot of deep tillage. But today we're going to see if we can tear up this grass using these discs here to kind of cut through the sod. And unfortunately the spikes on here won't necessarily turn the soil over, but at least we'll get it ripped up to the point where if weather stays cooperative, we could maybe run the disc over it again when it's chopped up, or just wait till next year when the grass is mostly dead, and maybe we have some better options after the grass has been kind of worked up a little bit over winter. So let's get this thing hooked up and ready to go. I just got a bunch of crap on my gloves. That's why I wear it. One of the cool things about running old farm equipment is you never know when the tires are going to explode. Obviously this has seen better days and it's probably due for a replacement, but really I only use it for just a couple acres a year, and it is not worth spending, heck, I don't know, 300 bucks to put on 2 new tires. I've got enough old ones sitting around the farm. If one of these things fail, it's not a big deal to swap it over real quick, but it's just not really in the budget to put new tires on something where probably the tires would exceed the value of the machine. Good enough. All right, let's go work up that grass. See how good of a job that thing does. I don't know if I'm creating a humongous mess with all this grass, but we're going to try it anyways. And I guess you never really know if you're making a mistake until you try to correct it. So I don't know, maybe that's the wrong way of phrasing it, but we're trying it. It's going through, it's ripping up. It's not really turning over the way I would like it to, but that's why I said earlier, because it doesn't have the twisted shovels on it. But hoping maybe it'll get a little bit mellower through the winter, and next spring we can maybe take the disc and work it up, chop it up, get it buried a little better, and then run the field cultivator. So I guess we'll see in a couple months. making good progress. Sure is rough though. After I got all this field chisel plowed, went back home and hooked up the poor man's high-speed disc to come back and kind of smooth out all the rough spots from the old chisel plow. The reason I'm doing this because next year I am going to have to come out and hit these waterway, these grass strips that I tore out. I'm going to have to hit it again because I'm sure all that grass is not going to die, and anybody who's ever tried to disc up healthy living grass knows that it ain't dead if you till it up. It's going to come back, and I didn't want to have to beat myself up again in the spring, even though it might have been a little smoother. But I've got time now, so with the rolling basket it really makes a big difference in smoothness. So next year, I don't know, maybe if the grass does get killed, maybe I'll just go ahead and plant into it, but we'll see. So an unintended consequence of running a chisel plow over this field first before I came back to disc it up is the fact that now my auto steer has a terrible time following the path. It does not help that I'm running a two-wheel drive tractor, this 4640, and it's doing a lot better than what it was, but it is driving me nuts with the constant beeping, and I've only been out here for 10 minutes. Fortunately, it's only 20 acres worth, but it really drive a guy crazy. Back again the next day. I worked up a little bit of ground last night till it got pretty late, and didn't get the field done, but brought the sprayer over here because my co-op is awesome enough to bring me a hot load of spray mix. So I'm going to work this ground up and then spray it, and the next spring we can come back in, run a field cultivator, and just go ahead and plant into a clean field. It's too windy to spray today, but I told my co-op that I'd get this tanker back to them today. So we're going to go ahead and fill the sprayer up and wait for a less windy day. I'm just going to be spraying some broadleaf killer and some residual. But it can wait. We've got some favorable weather for the rest of the week. So let's go ahead and get this sprayer tank filled up, and I'm going to take this truck back. let's see if I can remember how to do this. Got a nearly 60-acre field, so we're going to fill it up to about 900 gallons because I'm putting 15 gallons an acre on this thing. All right, we're all filled up. I don't know if you guys can hear me, but it's pretty windy out here. So we'll keep on keeping at it. All right, after playing musical equipment for most of the day, I'm finally back out here in the field. It's the middle of November, and the sun stays pretty low in the sky, unfortunately. So I wish they would have put sun visors in these tractors 40 years ago. Would have been a lot nicer. Maybe I ought to tint these windows. I love rolling baskets. They do a great job, but I really wish somebody would invent one that doesn't do this. Big. Let's donate them. I hope I don't have to mow that later. Freebie. Let's check and see if there's any more. Yeah, there's a couple. I better get those too. Well, I was gonna spray today, but as you can tell by my surroundings, it is the typical middle of November weather for Indiana, which means it rained. And it didn't rain that much. It'll be just a couple days, but the favorable weather that I said earlier in the show turned out to be not so favorable, and there's a couple more days of rain. So I guess we'll just go ahead and call it a day, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.